Hello students, in chapter 7 transport layer our topic is TCP timers. So TCP is a congestion control algorithm is done there. In TCP error control is there, flow control is there, TCP connection is there. So number of RTTs will take place, round trip time will take place when the sender or the TCP client send a segment and waiting for the acknowledgement. Because of some different criterias and the combination of go back and flow control and the selective repeat flow control method, there is a variation in the round trip times, and some other times are also taken place there for the different criterias, like in different states or in when we are implementing the socket APIs, or some type of different conditions are occur. Maybe an acknowledgement get lost, maybe a packet get lost, or another type of things. So different timers are taken place here. Let's see these timers. So we have mainly different timers. To perform their operation smoothly, TCP implement these at least 4 timers. These 4 timers are main timers in the TCP. One is retransmission timer, or we also call that one as retransmission timeout, because RTT for the every segment sent by the sender is different. Sometime congestion window size equal to 1, sometime congestion window size equal to 2, 4, 8. This way the RTT will varying with the varying every time with the segment transmission. Second is persistent timers, third is keep alive timer, and fourth is time wait timer. Let's see these all timers one by one. First of all, retransmission timeout. Retransmission timeout timer is mainly to retransmit the low segment. TCP employs one retransmission timer. Okay, and the retransmission is only for the connection period, means RTO is there. Some RTO is there. For example, your TCP, you send a segment, you send a congestion window size equal to 1. Okay, and here the acknowledgement is come and you are waiting. This is the RTT, and here the timer starts and here the timeout expires. Some second time your congestion window size equal to 2, and you are sending 2 segments and waiting for the acknowledgement of both. From the starting of the first bit of the first segment up to the acknowledgement of the second, the RTT is this one. So here the timer start, here the timeout expire, means you see here RTT is varying. RTT is varying. Okay, for the congestion window, for the congestion window, or you can say the received window, or you can say the received window. Okay, according to the MSS site. So waiting time of an acknowledgement of the segment is up to there. For this varying RTT, we have mainly algorithm called current algorithms. This algorithm is called the current algorithm, and this current algorithm is used to calculate the RTT or the retransmission timeout. Mainly we have these two. One is measured RTT and second is the smooth RTT. Measured RTT is the timeout for which how long, if in general way we say, find out how long it takes to send a segment and receive an acknowledgement for it. This is the measured, which we will measure by the clock starting, and second, smooth RTT is calculated for the future, and this one we will take at the average of them. This time we will take this one as the average, and the time formula for this one is RTT smooth, or you can say this one as new RTT is equal to alpha into the measured RTT plus 1 minus alpha into the already smooth RTT or the current RTT. Sometimes we find this one different values for these things. Sometimes this one says that this is the current RTT, or sometimes this one is this is the NRTT or the new RTT we will say. Okay, so let's see a problem on that one and we will clear or understand the complete thing. This alpha is here the smoothing factor. Alpha here is the smoothing factor. Let's see this question. In this question we have given that in the TCP RTT is currently 30 millisecond, means this one is saying currently RTT is equal to 30 millisecond, means you can say that this RTT is, for example, which RTT, this one here, this RTT is the measured RTT or the current RTT. measured RTT or the current RTT, which is measured by us. 30 millisecond is measured by us. And the second thing is given here as, and the acknowledgements comes in 26 milliseconds. Acknowledgement, this we give this one as the name as the NRTT is equal to 26 milliseconds, or we can say that this one is the smooth RTT, which is taken as the average, okay. So if we give here, this is the NRTT. NRTT is also the name given to this. These terms are also used in some different books with different notations, okay. We have given the both things, and alpha smoothing factor is equal to 0.9. Then what is the value of the new RTT value? And we know this new RTT value is equal to alpha into the current RTT or the measured RTT plus 1 minus alpha into the average RTT or the smooth RTT. Then we can easily find this one with the help of this. So 0.9 into 30 millisecond plus 1 minus 0.9 into 26 millisecond. So this one is 27 millisecond plus this one is 0.1 into 26. So this one is equal to 27 millisecond into plus 2.6 millisecond. So the answer is 29.6 millisecond. 29.6 millisecond is the new expected RTT value. Or the smooth RTT value. 29.6. So correct answer here is the answer D. Correct answer is answer equal to D. Options D. So this way we can find out the RTT values or the retransmission timeout values of the particular segment. Let's go for the next one. So this is second timer is called the persistent timer. Persistent timer is mainly used in the silly window syndrome. In the flow control, we have silly window syndrome. There we see when the receiver advertisement a window size of 0 bytes. For example, here the client is advertised the window size, received window size is equal to 0 byte. And here sender gets stopped and wait for the non-zero received window segment, where the receiver will alert that this non-zero window will come, okay. Transmitting stop from the sending side as well as the receiving side, and the receiver is sent, or the client or the server is sent this window called received window, for example, equal to 100 bytes. This non-zero received window advertisement size, okay, non-zero window size, but this one get lost. So this one continuously waiting, this one sent and waiting for data from the client side, but this will not get this one. Sender will not get this non-zero received window size segment or acknowledgement, and server already sent that one. Both are waiting for each other. So this waiting will create this deadlock. This lost acknowledgement or segment will create the deadlock between them. Both are waiting. This one is also waiting and this one is also waiting. Both are going into the deadlock state. So due to the solution, to find the solution of this deadlock state, if this acknowledgement is lost, the receiving TCP think that it has done its job, but waiting for the sending TCP to send more segments. But there is no retransmission timer for the acknowledgement. Here there is no retransmission timer for the acknowledgement, because acknowledgements are the pure acknowledgements. No retransmission timer for the acknowledgements, because acknowledgements are the pure acknowledgements, and no sequence number is consumed by the pure acknowledgement. So both are gone into the deadlock. To solve this deadlock solution, To solve this deadlock solution, we use the TCP persistent timer. To deal with this deadlock, TCP uses a persistent timer for each connection. When the sending TCP receiving an acknowledgement with a window size of 0, persistent timer will goes off. Okay. When the sending TCP receives an acknowledgement of a window size of 0, here when this one receives, start the persistence timer. Start this persistent timer. This segment start this persistent timers, and when the persistent timer is continuously, and when this persistent timer expires, and the sending TCP send a special acknowledgement, and persistent timers expire, and sender will not get received any acknowledgement from the server side or the receiver side. This will start sending a special segment called the probe. After this expires and not get any acknowledgement, this send a special segment called the probe segment. Okay, this probe segment, and this segment contain 1 byte of data. Data is equal to 1 byte of data, and it has a sequence number, but this sequence number can never be acknowledged. Okay, so this probe causes the receiving TCP or the server to resend an acknowledgement. By this one, this will send again an acknowledgement, and this acknowledgement is the received window size equal to a non-zero size. So the probe causing the receiving TCP or the TCP server to resend an acknowledgement. Okay, and again the persistent timer will take place if no acknowledgement is received. The solution of this deadlock is called the persistent timer. The solution of this is the persistence timer. So this way we can find out the solution of this deadlock. When silly window syndromes come into picture, the third part, that is when a non-zero received window size is advertised by the TCP server or the receiver, and sender is waiting for a non-zero received window size acknowledgement, and that acknowledgement is lost, both the TCP client as well as the TCP server got into the deadlock. To find the solution or to deal with this deadlock, we use the TCP persistent timer. When a 0 byte received window size acknowledgement is received by the sender or TCP client, it starts a persistent timer, and that persistent timer will expire after some times. The value of this one may be the 60 seconds or maybe 120 seconds, and until this time expire, if there is no acknowledgement is received by the sender or the client from the server side or from the receiver side, this will send a probe segment to the receiver or to the server, and that server or the receiver will send an acknowledgement in the reply of that probe segment, and that is a non-zero byte segment or acknowledgement. So this way persistent timer deal with the deadlock. Next is the keep alive timer. Keep alive timer is saying that sometimes when both sender and receiver are not communicating, for example, from a long time they are communicating, sending, receiving acknowledgement, but here no data, but here no more data to share, and here also we have no more data. So the channel get idle. This period they are going into the idle state. Perhaps the client is crashed, or maybe the solution there is no data, or maybe the solution ki client get crashed, and here the server is waiting, and both are in the idle state. Either no data is sent, gone into the idle state, either the crashed, and server also have no data, sending no particular acknowledgements or the segments, and server is waiting for the request from the client side. So in this case the connection remains open forever. Here the connection remains forever. Here the connection remains open forever. open forever. Okay, so this type of situation will occur. Okay, that time the keep alive timer is used. That time the keep alive timer is used in some implementation to prevent this idle connection between the two TCP situation. Idle connection between the two TCP situation. So client open a TCP connection to a server, transfer some data and keep silent. So this time the connection remains open 4 hours. So to remedy this type of situation, the server using a keep alive timer. Here the server is using the keep alive timer here. Server is using here the keep alive timer, and this keep alive timer will be for 2 hours. For 2 hours. If during this 2 hours there is no communication between them, then after this keep alive timer timeout expires, then server close the connection. Server closed the connection. So keep alive timer is for 2 hours. Okay, and after this during this 2 hours, if there is no segment or acknowledgement from the sender side or the client side, server will close the connection. Server close this connection. Server so we can say that to prevent a long idle connection between two TCPs, we use the keep alive timer. So this is all about the keep alive timer. Next is time wait timer. Time wait timer is mainly used during the connection termination phase. During the connection termination phase. We know in connection termination phase, the client is going to into the active close and send the finish segment. Send the finish segment. Okay, and here this one gone into the closed wait state. Closed wait state, and if they have half closed connection, then this one send an acknowledgement. So during this acknowledgement, here our go into finish wait state, finish wait one state, and this one is into the closed wait state. When the complete data transfer is taken from the server side, this one passively close the connection and send the finish segment. And during this time, our particular will goes into the last acknowledgement state, and between this acknowledgement and between this finish segment, our client is into the finish wait 2 state. After receiving this finish segment from the server side, here this one start a 2 MSL timer. 2 MSL timer, and this one is used for finally closing the connection between the sender and the client. Closing the connection between the sender and the time. Okay, and here this one send the final acknowledgement for the connection close and gone into the time wait state. Okay, when this timer gets expire, here, the timeout will occur and there is no acknowledgement turn segment from the server side, then finally the connection closed. Finally here the connection closed and our client will go into the closed state. After receiving this acknowledgement, connection get closed at the server side. Connection closed server side, and our server will also go into the closed state. So here you see this 2 MSL time is taken place. So this is the maximum segment lifetime. This is the amount of time any segment can exist in a network before being discarded. Maximum segment lifetime. This one is starting here, MSL. If this segment is acknowledgement is sent by the client to the server, up to how much time this will alive, or amount of time for which this segment is existing in the network. So this one is received by successfully, and during this there is no segment or the acknowledgement from the receive side. After this timeout expire, the connection is closed from the client side as well as the server side. So here we will to choose this MSL. Maybe common value of this one is 30 seconds for someone 1 minute, and for someone 2 minutes. And TCP will perform the active close and send the final acknowledgement after using this 2 MSL. Active closed here, sending the final connection closed after sending this acknowledgement. So this is time wait timer. Time wait timer is mainly used in our connection termination phase. Our connection termination phase, and finally close the connection. Finally close the connection. So these are the different 4 timers used in the our TCP protocol. One is retransmission timeout timer, that is used for the retransmission of segments, and we calculate the RTT there because RTT is dynamic, because the window size are different every time. Some in congestion control the window size is 1, 2, 4, 8 and 9, 10, 11, 12. Received window size is also different, and persistent timers is used to deal with the deadlock states, and our keep alive timer is used for the deadlock state when both are in the gone into the connection for opens forever, and the server will not receive any acknowledgement or segment from the client side. So after 2 hours, when the timer keep alive timer expires, then our server will close the final connection, and this time wait timer is used in the connection termination phase. So these are the 4 timers used in TCP. Thank you.